Okay. Okay, I think I think it's good. I haven't quite figured out all these things. Behind me is seems to be a streaming cast, a streaming podcast. I don't even think it's a podcast, but it's a SalvoPancakes. He's doing his 24-hour stream, and I think he's in hour 13. Says he's on the upswing. I think he'll make it. I had some doubts. Actually, I had no doubts. The guy's crazy. I enjoy his content. He gets a little bit insane sometimes, and I think he probably focuses a little bit too much on his own personal drama mythos. But I like what the guy has to offer in terms of content. It's hilarious. Looking forward to seeing more of his antics. Yeah, I needed to come on and check things out and do some. I needed to get these cables working. I got to get like multiple cameras set up here, but it's going to take some time. Going to take some effort. And I'm full of effort, but unfortunately, I have a day job, which means I got to go to work. I got to be to work in less than 6 hours now. Well, 7 hours, but fuck it. I don't care. I like work. I like to just spend more time doing this. Right now, I'm actually working on a big project. It's the longest video I've done to date, which I've only been doing this for a while now, but it's a huge project. It should be done within the next 2 weeks, I hope. It involves much editing, and the writing's done. The script is done. There's a bit of recording I still need to do. I've got some B-roll to film. I still got to film some B-roll tonight even. I don't think I'm going to get to it before I go to bed. Probably not going to happen. Probably. I mean, who keeps up with that stuff? It just takes so much time to get things ready, the perfect shot. And I'm not working with a large amount of space. I used to, but not anymore. Not anymore. This stream, though, is pretty fire. He's talking about this guy. It looks to be a boomer named Peepaw. I don't like him. Seems to be very unchill. Yeah, hour 13 into SalvoPancakes stream. I'm going to go ahead and make some updates. I'm going to reorientate my microphone. I'm going to make some updates on my Twitter. I do actually have a new Twitter. The Twitter that's linked on my old account. Not my old account, my other YouTube account. It's actually banned because it was suspended during the great Twitter Holocaust when our Twitter was being absconded with by the federal government. They gave it. No, I don't. I'm pretty sure they banned me for just because I'm too freaking. I raw dog it sometimes. I'm kind of a dingo, but they got me. They got me a few times. I just stopped making accounts after the last time I was banned, and then I immediately. Well, I didn't make a new one technically. I had several already, so I just got on one again after Musk gave us Twitter back to some degree. It's still pretty censorious, but lot less so nowadays. Very, very usable now, especially if you're a left-leaning moderate. But that's the thing. Left-leaning moderates don't stick up for themselves, you ask me. Actually, I don't think most moderates don't stick up for themselves. Oh, motherfucker. Damn it. I was trying to update my thing, but I'll have to relink it another way. Apparently, it's not saving drafts on Twitter. I have the draft saved on my phone, the application, but it's not going to do it on the browser, apparently. There's a lot more over here on the app that are I bet they store like that stuff on the app specifically, and the data on the browser's just stored differently, so it doesn't show up. That's got to be it, obviously. Oh my God, I can't believe I posted that. I'm beginning to think. Oh, check that out. All right, let me make this update. I got to make this update. It only makes sense to do this update right now. Live streaming. But yeah, I want to go over a few things, talk about a few things, sort of make a log, an entry, and an idea of where the channel is going to go from here as I continue to build up. Probably try to get more time in the future for this type of thing. Or rather, I have a lot of time. I just don't spend it as wisely as I should. I need to be more conscious of that. I'm really enjoying this. I haven't been watching the SalvoPancakes 24-hour live stream for very long, just about an hour or so. Been keeping up with it during the day, but I don't have time to watch the entire thing. I got stuff during the day to do, other stuff I got to do. But it's been fun. Hopefully he does more of these. He's saying he wants to do more, and I do have I have my own opinion about the guy. I think he can be horribly entertaining sometimes, and then other times he just loses me. He loses me so fast sometimes, but he tends to do crazy shit. He's like a wild card. You can't really predict what he's going to do next, and that I think is very refreshing. I think that's content that's been missing from YouTube. I think there's a lot of content that is still just so predictable and so on script and so boring, and I think that's been the case for several years now. We're talking like maybe since 2017 or the end of 2016. I want better things for the site, but I see some potential in other places as well. And I hope that becomes a thing. We need more competition. Other players out there that are willing to say, "Hey, are you interested in working for us?" Okay, let me send this tweet. Shit. The fuck am I looking at here? All right, no. Don't delete. Fuck, don't delete. Love streaming. Live streaming. Live stream testing. Blah, 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 blah. Reviewing. Uh-oh. Let's cancel. Let's save the draft of this. Because I did want to talk a little bit more about SalvoPancakes and, of course, other things as well. But I'll go ahead and link his stream actively. It just makes better sense. Fuck it. We'll do it this way. We will do it this way. We're doing it live. We're doing it live. We're doing it live. I can't spell worth shit.
Do you understand something? We go when she's talking, when she's on screen, not when she's in the fucking waiting room.
Make a tweet. Perfect. And then we'll hit fucking send on that. I really need to stop hitting my microphone. Okay. Where are we at? Where are we at with this? Where's the link? You promised me a link. It's not here. Okay, I found the link. Almost done. I'm going to turn down the lights. I got to get some more lights installed. I need a mood. And this light behind me, I mean, it's so bright and incandescent. This is offensive to my senses. So I feel like LEDs oscillating like colors, or alternating rather, transitional, smooth, slow, in and out. I do want to, right now I'm actually working on some outdated hardware, and it's kind of ass. That's the thing now. Hold on. Hold on. I could just do it this way. Never mind. What the fuck? So much easier to do it this way. So yeah, I want to do in the future and going forward, what I've sort of been doing anyway is just do like essay style content, maybe just more of it live. Do some more. Definitely, my next big project is technically a project, so I want to do more of those projects. I want to get more of that content out there because I still do like doing offline content. I've only ever done that. I do have a history of video production, but not in any professional sense. It's only ever been a hobby, and it's fucking hilarious. It's fun. I enjoy it. I enjoy it. What I would like to also enjoy is sending this link. If it would send, mate. Oh, it's sending. It's sending. So yeah, I'm working with outdated hardware. My computer is currently running Windows 7. I think I mentioned that in my last video or my last stream log, and or my log, and it's just not going to pick up most of the hardware I need nowadays. Now I could work around that, but I'm not sure how much I want to work around it. I might just work around it for now, but I definitely need to upgrade the firmware, of course. Need to get some Windows 10 installed, and then actually after that I should be good to go. I need to install the next my other hard drive, which is it's a solid state. So this thing will be, I'm running on old stuff, and I'm running all my video editing software on this old software, and it's good, it's fine, it serves its purpose. It crashes a lot, but I'll be running that until I could actually upgrade the firmware and everything and some more hardware. I'm probably looking at building another PC in the next year or two, depending on how well everything goes, and just get some better material, better hardware to streamline this production value. That's where I'd ideally like to go, and I think that's where I should be going. I do in the future want to do more gaming content, since that's really just part of my fun in general. But I also do a lot of other stuff, so you'll probably see me doing all kinds of crap, as long as you show up. You have to show up at the end of the day, and I got to market this shit correctly, so that also helps. I'm still learning the interface a bit, because it's kind of it's really it feels like some things are just like not conveniently in spots where you'd think you'd find them. And it's like, you don't have access to this feature. You don't have access. It's all grayed out. I don't know what you mean. Like, what do you mean I don't have access to this feature? Are you fucking with me? Oh yeah, I'm trying to link this, trying to get it done so I can get this. Yes, give me. All right, got a little bit of hiccups. I ain't even drank anything yet. What a waste. Oh yeah, recently had the Creator Class 2 kick off and conclude itself after about 3 annoying weeks of just non-stop marketing for it. What a shit show that was. And it didn't have to be. It didn't even have to be, man. It just sort of fucking failed. And it didn't have to. It failed because, we all know why, because somebody got canned. They canned a fighter. And when they can one fighter, they sort of screw over the other one, because the other one has to find another opponent, where the other one doesn't have to. The boxing promoter has to find another fighter. So when you switch out the fighters, I mean, there's a whole slew of issues when you do that go along. And it was all done over just because Anissa couldn't take a joke. She was just like she's always, I think these people have always been, her especially, I think. She has a history of just being very soft and insecure. I think she had eating disorders when she was younger. I remember her talking about this, and she's always been just this ball of insecurity. I swear, I think I saw some old texts, some tweets where she was bad mouthing Ian, and this was, I think, it had to have been years ago, like 15, 16, maybe even 14. But she was just shit talking the guy, and it felt like, just reading that a little bit, if that's what he had to put up with the entire time, man, That sucks. I don't think that relationship's going to last because I think Ian is going to eventually find himself so unhappy. He might become one day a Will Smith. You know how unhappy I can't speak to how unhappy these people are, but they just seem unhappy. They just seem really, really unhappy and just pissed off with their life. And that's cool. That's cool because, I mean, it's not cool. It's not cool when you don't do anything about it. And Anissa and Ian, man, I tell you what, I don't think Ian's like that. I don't know what's happened to him. I don't know what she's convinced him of. I do know that the market has shifted in terms of content appreciation, especially on YouTube. You don't see a Leafy anymore. You know why? They canned him. They canned his ass and told him to get the fuck out. And that's cool. But yeah, Leafy had his own degree of problems and content. It was still edgy stuff. He still got up on a microphone and he yacked. He spat daily. And that, people had their own feelings about that. What we got, unfortunately, in 2015, 16, and beyond that was a slew of internet culture that was just intolerant of anything that didn't drive the main narrative, that wasn't overly nice or overly mean towards certain other types of content. Huge polarization. And that I feel like there's just a lot that can't be regained from that era. I don't think that, it becomes laborious to try to return to that era in content creation. Let me see, get these things. But yeah, it becomes difficult to return to that era of content creation if everybody that hates that is in a position of power, such as YouTube or Google. Look at what they did to kiwi farms. Now, before I was saying people need to get off these websites like Twitter to some degree, Facebook definitely, and go back to these Facebook groups. A lot of people join Facebook groups, and they don't let anybody join because those Facebook groups can still get BTFO'd. BTFO'd off of like the platform itself because it's their platform. The issue of that is it's just like people just need to get off these spaces. They need to get off of these corporate owned spaces and go back to forums. Now, even there's a little bit of a problem themselves because, forums are this and that. But that's where we were at the end of the day. Before there was Facebook, even during Facebook, we still, forums are still popular. I honestly don't know how popular they are now. It seems like I went to gaming forums mostly, niche forums. And then I messed around in some foreign content management software. So it's, it just seems a lot more desirable because, you still get BTFO'd off those private forum platforms easily and for no reason. But, you didn't have some faceless, nonsensical corporate suit saying it to you and then not communicating to you ever again. If you had spent some time building up an audience on Twitter or Facebook or even YouTube, and then you got some asshole sending you a message and it's not even like, go fuck yourself. It's just like, we're going to give you the corporate stuff, and then it's just so infuriating. It's soulless, so hollow. How do you do business like that? It's all for a reason. It's all by design. What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? I tell you what you're going to do about it. You're going to sign up and find other places to inhabit as long as you can. But, you're going to take what you got and keep what you got. So I guess if we go back to like Creator Clash, there's a few other things that were, you got your typical like charity events that are like, they market themselves as being like the best thing you could possibly do. In reality, especially for content creators, it just depends on the charity and how it goes. There's no real harm in any charity, honestly, I feel. In fact, most of it is all good. It's just, I think there's a little bit of overselling the importance of the charity or how impactful it is, because the people that vend these monies, everything, these offices spaces, these office spaces, I don't know, maybe some of them have gone actually remote, but a lot of them are going to take their meat. They're going to take their cut. Take Creator Clash. They've still got to pay for the venue, and they got to pay for they got to pay for the licensing. They got to pay for the venue. There's people getting paid. These people aren't working for free. That's just not reality. And by the time you get to doling out the money that was made to the principal, or rather in this case to the people that were the recipients of whatever it is, just depends on the charity, but to the hospitals or the research facilities or whoever's taking this money, they get paid too. Now they got to dish it out themselves. So if they Creator Clash decides to give it to this other charity over here, well, they get paid too because it's a charity of a charity. Creator Clash is just offering up the money. And not only that, there are some reports that some of these fighters are getting up to like 60 grand in compensation. Now, I don't have a problem with that. But it's, again, the bills have to be paid. And that's cool. That's just a fact of reality. Wouldn't have it any other way. The issue is, I think, and this will tie into a little bit how some of these creators went about trying to circumvent the negativity associated with how they did Froggy Fresh on Creator Clash 2. They booted Froggy Fresh, and the only reason they booted him because he made this joke about Anissa, and supposedly I don't think they even actually gave a reason, except other than this very corporate, very lawyerly. He wasn't the embodiment of inclusivity or whatever. Some PC SJW snowflake candy ass cupcake nonsense. Now this is the real failing here is just a failing to understand the vibe, the attitudes. I don't think that athletics and sports, they're not inherently negative, but they can be edgy, they can be rough, and tumble. And that's what people like about sports. You want to build cupcake land, you want to build cupcake boxing, do it. I just don't think people are going to be interested in watching that. You'll probably find a market, maybe, but then you got to convince the fighters to get in there and get their face beat because you're asking them to also promote. I imagine you're asking them to promote the fight. Some of them did. A lot of them actually promoted the fight, but some of them went out of their way to address the controversy with the exiting of Froggy Fresh from Creator Clash 2. That how they did that, like Harley, for instance, Harley Morenstein, that all-you-can-eat guy, big chubby guy a few years ago. He's actually done well. He did a pretty good job. He got his ass knocked out of the ring, which actually is kind of embarrassing. And that's another topic I might come into later. I mean, this is sport. You could die in the ring. People have gotten really badly injured and even died in the ring. It's a thing. So there's a liability thing here. There's things to consider before somebody just steps inside the sorry. I got monsters. Anyway, so you got Froggy Fresh getting his ass whipped and got his ass exited out of Creator Clash 2. And Harley Morenstein, this guy, and a few of them came out and had something to say about it. I think Elena Pierce, the Aussie that's now living in the United States, a lot of these people are actually, I find them to be largely hollow. I don't watch them anymore because they've tailored their content as just to be as mainstream and boring as possible. It's the kind of shit that gets like canceled off of Netflix when they start filming season 2. They're like, oh well, there's no money for this bullshit anymore. What did they can that Resident Evil crap because they just injected so much empty like activism in it. That's all it is empty activism. It's boring because it takes the place of like story building and character building and cat building. And that's really gay. Nobody wants that crap. We've been spoon-fed. If you want that generic crap, you go to like the Lifetime, go to ABC, and even then they were doing some good stuff for a while. But people are tired of the superhero stuff. People are tired of like people don't even know they're tired. They just discover they're tired when they find something they really like. And it's not like the usual crap that Disney's producing. It's not like the usual crap that Hell, Netflix is producing. Netflix has like a bowl of writers out there they've hired, and they've kept them on for several years now. I think going on like 10 now, maybe not even that, but I suspect they're like college graduates with like an MFA, but they're really shitty because all they focus on is these extant niche social political issues. They're really just social issues that don't exist. Like the whole mantra in the last 4 years we've heard, maybe 6 years, is white supremacy this, white supremacy that. I tell you what, I don't go to bed worrying about white supremacy. I don't have a boogeyman. His name is white supremacy. I don't even have a closet. But I tell you what, the only thing I worry about under my bed is fucking dust bunnies. Those things are nasty. And cat hair. That's also nasty. And the occasional poopy. But I lose stuff under my bed. I've lost hats, and I'm like, oh, there's that hat. I love that hat. Where did it ever go? Oh, it's been here underneath the bed. I gotta go clean it. But I don't worry about those things. So naturally, people are like, what are you talking about this? What are you talking about that? I don't see any of what you're talking about. And a lot of these shows, TV shows, like try to play this like socially conscious crap. Like, we have to be socially conscious that brown people exist, and we have to have brown people play brown people, and then we have to have like gay people that are written gay to be actually played by gay people. The whole identitarian slant that is just so phony. And you'll if you look up any of these YouTubers that Crater Clash, all of them, go through their Twitter and go do an F search. Go through there and search for their Twitter. You can search up keywords. Here's a few keywords to search up. CRT is 1. SJW is 2. You might even search up Covey. You know what I'm talking about. I can't seek it here. And then you might even search up masks. Try that one. Antifa. Try that. You'll get a sense of what they're talking about and where they land. And I tell you what, if you don't like what you hear, if you don't like if it's really aversive and you're like, I don't know about that, it sounds wrong, forget about it. Forget about it. If they haven't corrected the issue now, they weren't paying attention before. Search up Kyle Rittenhouse. And if they got a wrong opinion about him, if they're not saying the man was that poor kid was mistreated and is owed a crap ton of money and is absolutely in the right because he was just defending himself, if they're not saying that, ditch them. They're bad. They're already bad. Or they don't know they're bad. But, those are the winning opinions. Those are the edgy opinions. This kid was sat upon by horrible, anxious people. One of them was trying to touch kids. He was, Joseph Rosenbaum, JoJo. The guy just got out of the hospital less than 24 hours before that riot. Nobody should have been out there, mind you. There was a curfew. But even then, that was probably the last guy ever that should have been put out there. Ever. He had no business out there. That guy was looking for trouble. And he died what he loved doing most, which was touching kids. True, though. Look these people up. If you don't know Kyle Rittenhouse, go look up. If you know the name, and you probably do, but you got an opinion that's not no, Kyle was in the right. He's defending himself. If it's not that, you got the wrong opinion. And there is such a thing as the wrong opinion. So, I think there's a lot of this whole mesh network of soft snowflake issues that are just crumbling. And I think Crater Clash I think it went rogue and it's going broke. I don't know that there's going to be a Creator Clash 2 by any stretch of the imagination, just because they got so much crap for this. And honestly, I don't care to see another Creator Clash 2. If this is what they're going to do, I'll do it. I'll watch. I'll pay for it. The next one, if they do one. But if I get even a smell that they're doing this crap again, because they screwed over Froggy Fresh. They screwed him over because, one, you invest time to get in this shape. You invest time, you invest effort, you put money forth. And they were paid the money. He was paid to actually get it, to get the to train, to get to. So these people were compensated. That was part of why they came after him to some degree. Some of the others because they were claiming that he was taking money away from the event. And I'm like, no, he wasn't taking any money away from the event. He was booted out of the event because he dared to make fun of Ian's wife. And Ian's wife, I assume they're both partners in this like business gig they're doing right now. May not be anything in the future. And if this is how they run their business, I mean, nobody wants that. Nobody's going to be interested in Creator Clash 3 if they're just going to be booting people. Now, they screwed over Froggy Fresh. Fine. I mean, he's a good sport about it. I wouldn't have been shit. But I tell you what, they really screwed over that Chris Ray-Gun because he got a new fighter. And you have to imagine he's probably been, he's been training for just as long, probably 6 to 7, 8 months, thinking he's going to be fighting this Froggy Fresh. Froggy Fresh thinking the same thing. Now he's got a new fighter, Chris Ray-Gun, and it looks like he looks like he had to fight someone even bigger than him, which is huge. And they screwed him up. If I were him, if I were Chris Ray-Gun, I don't know. I don't know what I would do, man. They did those two guys dirty, and they did the whole event dirty. They honestly did everybody dirty. Now, a lot of these influencers, all of them mostly. I think there was a few of them that came out, like Moist Critical, Charlie. I think he's got his own issues, but he came out and said, "Yeah, this thing sucks. Why? Why'd you do that?" But nobody else, and he didn't even go that far as to say, "I'm gonna, maybe take my name off this too," because it sounds super illegitimate. Like a lot of these YouTubers now, like Ego Raptor. I used to watch a shit ton of Ego Raptors and like Newground. That used to be my fucking thing to do when I was just trying to like procrastinate. Boot up an Ego Raptor fucking cartoon. That shit's fun. But somewhere along the line, this Game Grump went soft, like horribly soft. And I don't watch the guy. I didn't even really watch the Game Grumps. I think they had a little bit of a falling out with JonTron at one point. And I used to watch a lot of JonTron. I still do, but he doesn't produce very much, or at least I haven't seen that. Maybe he has got some new content. But I ever since that Destiny argument debate with JonTron, I think he recovered, but there's just a different idea about the guy. And he got his, man, they really canceled JonTron back in the day. Anyway, it just sucks what this culture of cancellation does. And that's what I felt from like the Creator Clash. Oh my God, he told a joke. And then this joke wasn't even that big of a deal. Hold on. I gotta stop this noise. All right, so. Anyway. So I'm not interested in another Creator Clash 2. By no means. Or 3. Creator Clash 3. Might as well skip to 4 now. Let's just skip 3 because 3 is going to be a shit show. Maybe by 4 they will have learned the lesson. So I said just start up for Creator Clash 4. And maybe I'll be there, but maybe not for 3. 3 is too close to 2. And that's a thing. That's a thing for some people. Anyway. Yeah, Creator Clash is just, I hope it did well enough to get some money over originally, but some of these creators, like I said, they didn't come out to lift much of a finger at all for their, fellow boxer. You think they would have, because they were doing the training. They trained. They understand what is hard. They all knew. There's so many people that could have come out and said, you know what, I don't like what happened. He just told a joke and he gets booted like that. The guys, you know how long he's been training? They know. They're in the game too. None of them stood up. Very few of them stood up, and some of them just came out and said, he deserved it. It's whatever, and you guys should just watch anyway because it's for charity. And that's where I really kind of lost my shit. It's like, okay, you're playing up the charity stuff. We should watch this, and we should just ignore this nonsense because it's for charity. No, screw that. You can just give your money directly to charity. It's so easy of a solution. I think that's what a lot of people did. I think a lot of people didn't show up for this because Ian's obsession with, I think a lot of it had to do with a little bit of Sam Hyde. Now, Harley actually trained with Sam Hyde during Creator Clash 1, and he still got to compete. So people are saying it has more to do with Sam Hyde, but I don't know. I don't know about that one. I don't know about that one. I think a little bit maybe, but I think it may have more to do with like I think it had more to do with him telling a joke, and they don't like the jokes. They don't like the jokes. If you joke with them, no. And I think that makes them a bad boxing promoter. I think it makes Ian and Nasa. I think they might well find themselves compromising their own business, like it's allegedly shooting themselves in the foot, like in Minecraft. Which is cool, you know. People are allowed to do that if that's what they truly feel. I'm still listening to a little bit of Salvi. He's doing good. I like the kid. He's gonna go far. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. The stream has ended for some reason. Let's see. Salvo, where the hell are you? Yeah, he's still here. Cool beans. He's got a guitarist up there. I think this guy Salvo could bring back. I think he has the potential of bringing back the golden age of YouTube. Actually, I'm gonna take these out. I think he has the potential of bringing back the golden age of YouTube because we're like a new version of content creation, along with the I think Leafy actually recently returned. I think they got him plugged into Rumble, which I very interesting take on that one. Happy about it. Happy about his return, and happy to see just other players out there. I think we need to get more. I think it'd really be fun if they'd if you got Rumble to hire Sam Hyde. That would be pretty cool if they offered him something to produce his skit, his TV shows, his comedy stuff. Like I think he got fired from Cartoon Network or one of those, or Animal Planet, and he ever since then he just got blacklisted. So he's been doing his own thing. It would be really cool to see him hooked up with Rumble. And I'd like to see just more of that content, that AJ content. It's coming back. It has to come back. It has to, because what we're doing now, it's missing something. And I think there's a lot of people on here that feel the pressure to, stay away from certain topics. Obviously, you can't talk about the sickness, the illness. Some reason the powers that be have decided that's a no-go. But the powers that be may not be the powers that be for very long. And that's always nice. It's always nice to see more players in the sphere of content creation. And that's where we need to be. I want to see more long-form content. I do like the streaming. I don't know that the streaming's ever going to really lose traction. It's sort of like the wild content that is it's the stuff you go to when you just want some now, want something in the now. Say if you pull up something like an old commentary YouTuber like Tipster. He used to do long form, short form, 10-minute commentary stuff, but then he started streaming, which is now what he does primarily. I think a lot of these YouTubers do primarily is streaming. And that's cool. Streaming, I don't know if it's ever going to go away, and I don't expect it to. It's like I said, too immediate. It's also fun to put up hooking up Twitch and watching somebody have a go at Dark Souls or Elden Ring or any of those, or Minecraft. That's always on the horizon. I'd like to see what happens with these other platforms that have streaming capabilities. Like YouTube is one, but it's an app you can use to stream from, but it's very limited with a lot of other apps to actually stream on the go. So once those apps make that jump, we might see a little bit more serious competition with streaming content. But I do think streaming content is the future. That's why I'm trying to build up to it, so I can get more of my cables, get more of my hardware upgraded, and it's more hardware. As I think there's a lot of, in the future, I'm going to be doing more streaming on other platforms, since I don't know how far YouTube has to go. I definitely want to continue with the long form sort of essay style stuff, but we'll see how integrated all that becomes. So that's just a future of this channel. This channel, there's another channel I have. It's a main channel where most of my main stuff's going to go, and the streaming content will go on a separate channel. I'll probably upload like a third channel that just does clips. So that's way down the line. That's so much work. It's so much work, and I already have a day job. I already have a 9 to 5 or an 8 to 7 or a 10 to 6. Now I already got a day job. It's a good job. Not ready to do anything new with it just now, but also got to be there. Also got just a lot of stuff to do. But this next project I'm working on should be out in the next 2 weeks, probably less time. It's going to be uploaded to my main channel. It'll be a long form project. It's boozy. It'll be really nice. It's probably going to be my next magnum opus. It's going to be it's going to be the thing. It's going to be the thing that puts me. It's going to be another video on the channel. But beyond that, I want to sort of integrate those things along with try to do more streaming. I wanted to do more writing, but it's really hard to fit in some time. I'm going to be back to back just producing shit. And I'll just be busy, hopefully keep up with it. Lastly, I guess I wanted to talk more about Creator Clash, because the Creator Clash, there was a few other topics that were interesting, like go back to Chris Raygun. He got screwed so hard. He got screwed too, because they had to change his fighter, and I saw the video. There's a video around with him just getting pummeled. I'm assuming he lost his fight, looks like, but I'd be pissed. I'd be pissed if I trained that like 6 to 12 months to anticipation of fighting Froggy Fresh, and then they switch him out with this big guy. And they were playing this clip with this other guy who was just spouting off all these words that was just so not family friendly. I don't know if it was the same fight or it was another fight, but then everybody was joking. It was like, this new brand friendly fighter. He's such a great replacement for Froggy Fresh, who deigned to make a joke about Anissa's OnlyFans. It's like everybody makes fun of that. She even makes fun of it. Anyway, I think if I were Chris Raygun, I might consider maybe never working with Creator Clash ever again. And I would say, yeah, no other boxer should probably do this, just because of how bad Chris got screwed. I might even consider suing to some degree, but I'm sure he went along with it. Probably can't. Probably wouldn't want to. This whole event, let's not beat around the bush. The whole event was really all about clout, because let's be real, it could have been very successful, but I don't know that a lot of that money will probably end up where it needs to go. But like I said, everybody's got bills. In Creator Clash, they had to pay for the venue, pay the fighters, and the fighters were, I think they were upwards of getting like I don't know, somebody said 60K. I think that's about accurate. That is a chunk of change, man. I mean, that's about what I'd want for. I'd probably take less if I was getting in the boxing ring myself, but hell, that's a chunk of change. But see, a lot of these YouTubers, they're already doing this kind of money to some degree, if you look at their houses. But like I said, some of these YouTubers, it was just, I don't even know them, like ABs from H3. Don't watch them. Used to watch a lot of H3. Don't like their podcast format. Ethan's just another SJW hollow YouTuber that doesn't do anything for the name of comedy in any stretch of the imagination. I used to think he was funny, and he still is. He still can be, but he gets in trouble with his freaking community. But that's his fault. That's his fault for fostering such a toxic and disabling, just creatively disabling community. I'm talking about those fans of his, the ones that screech every time he says something even remotely edgy. Okay, yeah. Well, that's what you get. That's how you hamstring yourself. But and to be fair, the only reason it ever went that way was because of the culture war. People started getting canceled. People started, these journalists. I think it started a lot in the media with these leftists and these SJWs that got these these jobs that these journalists, they went after PewDiePie, and they would lie about what he was doing. They would lie. They would take some of his edgy skits and his edgy Lord stuff, and then try to pass it off as like bona fide, like real McCoy white supremacist ideology. And I'm like, that's not a thing. That's not a thing that this guy's doing. You're just making stuff up for headlines. I don't know if he actually sued anybody or not, because it's really hard to sue these publications, but they were straight up. There were some of the stuff, it was hard to like explain to people, but it's really easy to take these things out of context. And these publications have only ever gotten more brave, like New York Times and Washington Post. It's owned by, was that Washington Post? That's owned by Amazon. Big corporations owning newspapers. That's going to lead to something good. Oh, it hasn't. It's led to this timeline. But yeah, journalists back then, they were lying their asses off, because a lot of them were just SJW warriors themselves. They saw something different, I believe. And I think some of them were just absolutely lying to get a headline or a click. That's what they do now. They have no honor. They have no decency. They inject so much activism into their brand, which, when it comes down to like journalism, it has nothing to do with it. Journalism is just journalism. It has zero to do with advocacy, or it shouldn't, especially real journalism. If you want to do activist journalism, fine. That's suspect as well. I wouldn't even call that active. I wouldn't even call that journalism. Like, at some point, you have to stop calling things journalism and just call it cheap writing, or cheap tabloiding, cheap fiction based on reality. That's awful. It's an awful way to go. But that's when it all started. I think that's where it started. This whole obsession with not offending anyone. Fair enough. Have it your way. But everything has become boring, and now the crowds, they are screeching. They are screeching for more iDubbbz, edgy content. But he doesn't deliver, because he can't. Because he's been convinced somewhere it's wrong, or otherwise he's not going to get paid at the end of the day. That's what they were really all worried about. And that's why the situation changed, because the rules started to change. And it became so hard to actually produce anything that was worthwhile watching in that vein, because then you'd have to worry about whether it was going to get hit with some stupid rule or some BS. You get too many strikes, well, about 4 or 5 years of your hard work just down the drain. Well, that's what it seems like. That's not cool. That's like how are you going to attract people to like create content for you if you've got the sword of like Damocles hanging over their head in any moment? Is that the way to do it? I don't think so. Like, there's a problem with that. I think there's a big problem with that. I think when you put those barriers in place, you get a lot less. One, you get a lot less maybe activism in a certain way. Then you get an imbalance of activism, and that's never good, because then you just have people screeching into people's ears. And I think you get this timeline when you get just like a liberal pipeline of nonsense just trickling down on the people, and then not providing any other, just outright banning the other viewpoint. I'm like, okay, well, that's a good way to take things over. It's also a good way to wake people up to your nonsense. But yeah, the creator clash for me, when they did that, it just symbolized all the last 6 years of rule changes. You don't have to like the rules, you don't have to like the policy, you don't even like to have the culture shift, but you don't have to become the culture shift at the end of the day. For me, I think Ian just threw most of his credibility away, and he had so much. Now, he used to be a funny guy. He used to partake in all types of illicit sporting events, like Drunken Twister or whatever. Hair Cakes, probably one of my favorites. That was a compliment. That was like you get all the originals. You got Joji, you got Ian, the iDubbbz, you got the guy that does the Pokemon shit and the guy that does the camera. I mean, I think a lot of these people actually haven't changed. And then those that have, they did it for the worst. I don't even know. Like, I think there was a Cold Ones podcast that, Max Mofo and Anything for Views were up doing, and they got a lot of people on there. I don't know where it's at right now. Let me take a look at that. I don't have any like open broadcasting software installed right now, so I can't share any of my screens, but that's what we're working with right now. We'll get through it. Cold Ones podcast. God, there's so much to talk about. And talk about a few other things as things get, like how much money was actually made, whether there's any more controversy with that. There's a little bit of controversy with how Creator Clash was actually marketing itself. Like, it was saying the phrase "all profits go to charity," right? But that's just not true. I mean, I don't think it's too terrible to say all profits, because at the end of the day, anything made after everybody gets paid might be considered nomenclaturally a profit. It just depends. They weren't saying that all the gross profit was going. They did say that the net profit, and their net profit at the end of the day might be, I don't know, an attorney, and an attorney with an accountancy degree might also, or accountancy certifications, might call it something else. So they might be careful with that in the future. But then again, all these charities are a little bit shady to some degree. I only think that Creator Class is extra shady is one. Why'd you do that? Act like an actual decent boxing promoter, one that's interested in getting crowds. You're not interested in getting crowds when you're worried about the jokes that your fighters are making. Come on. Secondly, like, I don't even know what I was going to say. No. The other fighters, like I said, they didn't come out to say. They know how hard it is to train. The whole event feels a little bit more hollow each time I think about it. And I'm like, okay, it feels like mainly this is an ego trip project for someone just to be like, they can call themselves a big deal boxing promoter. Fair enough. But why is it that they have to, like, damn, I was looking at the Cold Ones podcast, actually doing really well. They're doing really well. I need to be watching this. Let's see. They should be like into hour 14 by now, I think, on Salvo's 24-hour podcast. It looks like the Cold Ones podcast seems to be doing like an old bunch of stuff that they used to do. I don't know that the spirit of their content has changed, really, which is fine. They probably have to be more safer, but they're getting shit tons of views, man. Let's compare them with, because I see like a month ago or 5 months ago, there was a Cold Ones with Ludwig. I got some information. I guess I don't have any information. I got some thoughts about that guy, but Cold Ones, 2 million views. It's up there. Compare that with H3H3 podcast. Compare that with the H3H3 podcast. Damn, the H3H3 podcast is doing even worse than Cold Ones, I think. Now, they actually may be putting more podcast shit out. I don't know. It feels like they are. Maybe not. Where are their fucking podcasts at? Okay. Dude, I don't know. But their views are like, H3H3's views have gone down. I wonder. I haven't seen the Cold Ones, and I've seen enough of like H3 clips and stuff. I don't sit down for very large periods of time to watch any podcast. But my guess is, and this is just shot in the dark, their content's got a little bit too woke. And people are rejecting the woke right now. Right now, the woke shit, it's on a downward slant. It's going down, baby. It's going down. But, you know, this may be also the cultural shift you see in the popularity. You may see these views come down for some of these YouTubers that lean politically sometimes left. And you know, the podcasters, the commentary podcasters, they're usually going to like reveal their own political biases a lot easier than somebody who's just doing straight up content building, you know, wood sheds in the middle of Africa or something. Now that content, you're probably not going to hear much about what they have to think about when it comes to, say, Joe Biden or Ronald Reagan. You'll probably get a good idea of how to build a cabinet instead, which is always enjoyable. I think. I could be wrong about that. I think I've been going on for a lot longer than I was intending to. I was trying to test out some of my gear, and it seems to be working. I wanted to make sure I can get like a second source or get a different source from my my webcam, because my webcam it's got a mic. Most webcams have a built-in mic nowadays, because a lot of them need to be like a one-stop shop. But I have definitely some different gear here, so I'm going to use that instead, because this mic's several feet. It's at least a foot away, and I can get this one. This one's over here right in my face. So I'll be using this one and getting some more gear in the next, hopefully the next few months. It's going to take that much because shit's expensive. Shit's really expensive, but it's fine. It's fine. We'll live. We'll get through this. We'll get through this, and then we'll have a bunch of rice to eat at the end of it, because it'll be it's the only thing that's going to be left. Everybody ate all the cows, the chickens. It's just going to be rice and bugs and grasshoppers. I'm not eating grasshoppers. Fuck that. I will instead drink. If I have to eat grasshoppers, I will drink beer with them. This is just something I've decided for myself. But, yeah, Creative Clash, Dumpster Fire. Honestly, I hate to say I hope it fails, but it needs to, because I don't think it's going to be a success the way it goes. Now they can turn it around for the third one, I'll hop on, but I'm not on board with SJW boxing. I'm not on board with political correctness boxing. That's not necessarily politically correct. They're just really mad at Sam Hyde, and they really like OnlyFans. They really like that OnlyFans. It's exciting stuff. Until it's not. I think I got a few more. I'm going to get up real quick. I got to go feed a few pets I got to feed. I'll be right back. Be right back. Okay, got it. I got it. I win. I win the internets. The internets have been won. Anyway, yes. I had to feed the frog. I have a frog. He's a little sick right now, but he's doing good after this. I gotta get him some more mice. He likes mice. He likes worms. I also have a few cats, and they need feeding before I go to bed, so I might hop off here. One of my cats needs her inhaler. But so far, I think the stream is working. I need to check it to see how well this I don't understand here. Is this thing supposed to be like a volume thing? I don't know what this interface is. I don't like it. I don't know that it's working is the issue. And I'd kind of like to figure that out. I guess I could figure it out now. I don't know what I'm doing. Hold on. I know I'm being stupid. I'm being so stupid right now. I could figure this out right now. Yeah. Wanted to check out this mic, make sure it works, and make sure I can actually get it to work with in tandem with the microphone up there, which I think right now they're actually both working, which I don't think it would cause an issue since I'm only streaming from one source. So yeah, just wanted to make sure I could actually hook up an actual another microphone that's better than the one on the camera, because I'm not using that camera piece of shit. It's awful. It's third world. It's not actually. It's pretty good. I didn't pay much money for it. Why would I? Anyway. I'm gonna check something real quick. I'm gonna check the Gotta check the Twitters. Interesting. There's lots of shit going on right now on the Twitters. But it is now Monday. And I really do need to get off. I gotta get to work in the next 6 hours. Less than 6 hours. Which is fine. And I might do some streaming tomorrow. Probably not, but I might do some streaming just to get it out of the way. Get some stuff in. See what else I need to do. Test out some more gear. The gear does need to be tested out. It's just it's a good gear. It should be fine. I'm gonna check out this thing real quick. I don't know how well it's gonna work, as it seems to be. The other thing is I may need to upgrade my bandwidth. What is this? Yes. Yeah, I may need to upgrade my bandwidth a bit because holy shit. In fact, let me shut this off because I don't know. Maybe it's not working. I don't know. I'm having trouble pulling this up. Damn. This is gonna be rough. It's just it should be fine. I'm gonna check out this thing real quick. Okay, I can hear myself now. I don't know how well. I'm gonna check out this thing. Okay, I can hear myself now. I don't know how well. So now I'm all caught up. Should be hearing a. Okay, I can hear myself now. A nightmare. So now I'm all caught up. Should be hearing a. You hear that shit? Okay, well, all right. So the volume is working. Very good. I just don't think this. I think I just need to upgrade my firmware. Need to upgrade my firmware. Need to upgrade the browser. Need to get a few more laptops, specifically ones with the webcam built in and Windows 10. Of course, they should all be Windows 10 now, since I don't even think Windows 8 is being supported anymore. I think that's been nixed. I know Windows 7 is pretty much done. It's ran its course, which it didn't last long as the other ones, or maybe it has. I don't know. It's been. I built this thing in 2000. I think by the time I was done with it, it was 2013 or 14, possibly 13 actually. Now I think about it, or possibly no 13. Man, I got a lot done in that span of time actually. Like, I'm due for some new upgrades. Gotta have more upgrades. Gotta go into the future bravely with the right hardware. Alas, though, I gotta get a different. This thing is really hard to wear, by the way. It's very hard to wear. It's insufferable. It's hateful. I mean, I need to wind this down a bit. I'll play us out with a little bit of music just to go give us a little taste. We'll play a little bit of I don't know. Skibbity-doo. Come on. Come on. Where is my music? Oh God. I gotta fix this phone. This phone is it's got a storage issue. Oh, yeah. I'll play us out a little bit with maybe a little bit of a Handmaiden of the Lord. I'm trying to get back into religion more. I want to keep my edginess, keep my sharpness, but reconnect with the Almighty to some degree. Maybe put out some dank memes. I know I need to do some dank memes, so some editing is going to get done. I'm really focused on trying to get focused on getting this next project out, because it's one of many projects I want to do, but I'm really kind of stuck on this one. I'm not very good at working on multiple projects at one. I'm kind of overly wrought right now, but I want to put this thing out relatively quickly, and I want to get a little bit of marketing behind it. So I'll probably put in some AdWords out there, which means I have to do some more planning, get an AdSense account, or otherwise look at what Twitter's doing. I may just hit one thing, but this is what I really wanted to do. This project is what I really would like to do. So I'm thinking it's just one thing I want to do of many other things. But as soon as I get this done, I'll have a little bit of an idea of an itinerary. Probably by that time I might be able to get a new some new hardware, so I can install better software to pull up multiple video sources, so more can be done with that. I do intend on making do more in real live streaming. I'd like to do gaming, sure. That's kind of tricky on its own, but I definitely want to do more gaming. I'd like to do more gaming anyway. But I want to do more in real life stuff. It's just easier to produce content that way. Although I'd really like to get into doing like building up a community of like revolved around certain games. Maybe we could do like a community get together of playing a fighter game. My fighter game of right now is, of course, Super Smash Brothers. I could get into other games because that community is kind of dog shit. Maybe I just build my own community, right? They got like established Smash tournament communities. I kind of want to build an amateurish one, but like I said, that's a lot of work. So, and I'm kind of short on time each day since I already got to be to work for a total of almost 9 hours. Just because of the lunch, I do 40, so it's a full-time job. Wouldn't mind doing something a little bit more creative in the future, but this is what I'm doing right now. And yeah, there's not much else. That's I don't know what this is. What is this? Listen here, Wild Mountain. We'll have another go of Ave Maria, just because it's a beautiful. It's really nice. I like it. It's got a refreshing sense to it. Everybody should pick up at least one song they like to listen to before they go to bed and listen to it almost ritualistically. Don't play it any other time. Just one song right before you go to bed. Pick it up and listen to it. And then re-listen to it and listen to it again. See if you can memorize lyrics within 2 listens. If not, it doesn't really matter. But make it like, I don't know, something you like crave to do. Some people like to rest at night. And what I do, especially when I was younger, what I would do is I was like busy doing something. And sometimes I get so tired, I just kind of lose interest in what I was doing, but I was already in like robot mode, so I do it. But then I just look back and I'd be like, all right, now you don't ever want to get in this habit, because if you get in this habit, it's robot mode, dispassionate, sucks. Can't do that. But you sort of make at nighttime rituals like the stuff to look forward to, I guess. So you look forward, you play this song, get ready for bed. You already know it's bed. It almost helps you sleep to some degree. I'd suggest even maybe hooking up the song while you go to bed. It always helped me sleep. But just choose that one song, the one that signals it's time to go to bed, because it feels like it's happy time. I bet you if you play that game, that song in the car, and any other time, you'll get the same feeling. So build with you, like, I don't know, maybe try 3 songs. One when you wake up. Maybe not when you wake up. Nobody likes waking up. Waking up is, if you're not a morning person, it's awful. But if you get into like the idea of like saving certain like things that you know that are like ritualistic during bedtime, you might find that it brings more comfort and joy well into the future, especially when it comes to music. Maybe it's just something that's special. Could be something else. Could be a prayer, I guess. You could do a prayer. It's the same thing, really. You can say the prayer anytime. How you can sing the lyrics or intone, or hum the song, hum the melody of the song. Sort of takes you back all the way back to the back aisle where the fish are. Do they even have fish anymore? Did they take that out? I don't even know if they have fish in Walmarts anymore. They may have just done away with that because it was just a waste of everybody's time. I don't know. I shop at Walmart almost all the time just because it's not always cheaper, but I don't think I've seen the fish aisle in a long time. I don't fuck with that shit, honestly. I hate fish. I mean, I love fish, but they are a nightmare to take care of. I used to have to take care of the sons of bitches. I used to work at a pet store, and the pet store was a lot more better equipped to keep in-house house ponds because they were usually attached to a large sump, a large filter, and several of them that would just pump in this water. Boom, boom, boom. Suck it up, pump it in. But it was all measured. It was correct. You could do the same thing at home easily. It's just on a smaller scale. But sometimes your fish die for no fucking reason. No good reason. No good reason in your head. You may never discover the reason now. And that's depressing. And this depressing song is on again. Let's put it off again. Let's put it off. I like this. I like some Just for Kid. I do like the Just for Kid. Pretty good stuff. I don't know. Mistake removing him from some of the franchises he was. I honestly, maybe not. Because some of this stuff's loud as hell. The Hitman games are now like. I don't know. I guess some of them still use music, but there's a lot of ambiance and stuff you need to listen to. Audit cues in most cases, especially if you're new playing. If you're not new playing, you know it real well. You don't need to listen to any of that. You probably play the game on mute. I don't even play a lot of Hitman, but I do like the Hitman. I used to play a shit ton of Hitman when I was a kid. I used to play Hitman 2. It was my first game on the Hitman franchise. I played it on the PlayStation 2. Shoot, man, I had so much fun with that. The first mission, it took me a while to get through the game to figure out the ins and outs, and the stealth system was kind of weird as well. Very weird. Sometimes you wouldn't tell when you were triggering an enemy, and the enemy would just start shooting you in the face because, you're the hitmans. You're the hitmans. But there were some levels on there. The early games, you can only... There was I think maybe even just a little bit more creativity. There was all the creativity in the world you could, but the opportunities for, like, taking out your targets in the earlier games, not as varied. Not as... definitely not as myriad. The new games they got, there's like 16 different ways of killing each and every character. Well, maybe not that many ways, but there's at least 9 or 10 different ways, and there's other 9 or 10 ways the game is like asking you to try to kill them. They don't even ask you to take out your target, like just run up, shoot them, and get creative with it, like push them into a well, push them into a machine that's very heavy and sharp or whatever, or, electrocute them, whatever, drop a piano on them, drop a bale of hay. Probably my most creative kill, like taking out a target in Hitman, was just turning on the sink, putting on a battery under there. It was really kind of ridiculous, and they electrocute themselves. Very fun. I love those games. I enjoyed those games. I'm a little crazy, but I like the idea of role playing, I guess. I like the idea of sneaking into a place and then procuring on site whatever. It's good. It's good stuff. It's funny. Hopefully they never start making it. I do think the series may... I think they actually released a mode for Hitman 3 called... I don't remember what it's called now, but it looks cool. I haven't plugged it in yet and tried it, so I might check it out to see if it's still booming and give it a whirl. But I think it injected like the perfect amount of new types of way of playing the game. I think it did. I think it did so fantastically. Since the last thing I heard about it, I think it was actually a really good mode to play in. So I might hook it up, try to play it. But I was going to say that the Hitman series could definitely... It's got a rehaul, but man, I don't know. Are they just going to keep making these games where the situation is this and this and this? I don't hate that. But what other systems could we do? What other game modes could we play? Is there an open world component to Hitman ever? I think they tried that with Assassin's Creed. And the game modes that they came up with were kind of like, it's kind of lame. It's kind of arena. I liked the idea, but it felt a little bit oppressive sometimes with how creative you can get with taking out your targets in the Hitman, and what are they now? The Assassin's Creed, the Ass Creed games. Yeah, the multiplayer, it was so nuanced and just didn't really do that much that they only included it for like 2 of their games, and then we haven't seen it since. I don't think there's a multiplayer component to any of the new Assassin's Creed games. I think they have like network component where you can like, I don't know, but it's not direct PvP, I believe. It's not an arena mode, and I think that was only ever for like 2 of the Assassin's Creed games. But I tried it and I thought it was going to be better. I was like, is there an open world component to this where you can absolutely go out there and like snake someone while they're just doing a mission? And I don't know. I don't know how any of that would work. I have some ideas about how to get a game mode like that, but it would absolutely probably be like a long form play. Like we're talking about matches that would last well into like maybe 30 minutes to an hour. So I don't know. Kind of got to have like the right network infrastructure for that, for one. 2, you got to have the right rules, plays. What's the object of the game? Are you a hitman? You going out in the city, you got a target, but you got to like fulfill these other objectives before you complete the target and the task. And if that's the case, because you'd have to tier the scoring system a bit, because if you just give them like an okay at the end victory to shot them, fine, whatever. Maybe there's specific requirements. You can't just run up and shoot somebody. That's not how the game is played. You gotta sort of, maybe there's a request on how you do it. Maybe you gotta frame someone else. Maybe, I don't know. But plenty of ladder ability, plenty of things to make up, plenty of ways to ride it. I wouldn't mind seeing something like that. I don't know if IO or a company right now has the talent to make something like that. I'd like to play it. I would play it. I'll fucking play that shit. Yeah. All right. Well, I think my neck's getting sore. Might have to call it a night. But I think I got to check out my gear and get it all hooked up. I think it's all working out. Fine. Just got to get more gear, upgrade my stuff, and then I'll be able to record more. And then I'll be able to stream more, and then I can record more, do some more editing. I gotta check out I don't know if I like the audio that's coming out of the audio. That's kind of ass. But then again, I think maybe the bite rate too. I've got a lot of updates to make with regards to the hardware. Like right now, I'm using a USB mic. The quality is it's not bad, but it's not. There's ability quality out there. I'm gonna get it, and there is. I can get one of those XLRSs or whatever XLR. I forget they're called, XLRs. I'm so tired. But those are also expensive, and I don't have the money. But we'll get there eventually. We'll get there in time. I think I might cut it out for now. Be sure to check out my other channel. It's Dust Dingo. I'll link it in the description. And yeah, give it a like. I do mostly my pre-recorded stuff on there. There's no live feed or anything on there. A lot of it is made while I'm drunk or high, or both. And it's just essay style memory. Enjoy. Check it out. Hit the like button, subscribe, ring the bell. Check out this channel as well. I'll be uploading to this channel. Hit the bell, subscribe. It'll be mostly stream of consciousness form of content. I'll organize it to some degree, but I got to figure out exactly what kind of gear I need left to get everything going. And that could take a few months, honestly. But I do appreciate you if you've shown up. Throw me a like. Throw me a comment down below. I do appreciate your time. Dust Dingo out.